You have to freaking grab it up. Okay.
Welcome back, guys. Round 2, Damage Networks versus BAGUETTE, my friend. Let me just get this stream up for you guys here. Thanks for the short break, and we see that BAGUETTE is Aliens and Damage Networks is Marines. This is the better game for Damage Networks. We're seeing the Marines started in the server room and shipping the Aliens started. And look at BAGUETTE crumpling up there in mezzanine.
Yeah, but you know, crumbling is the right word. They were so slow to push in. They took a lot of damage before the engagement even started, and they just got completely wiped.
Wow, this is the Damage Network that I know. They have a very strong Marine game, and look, they are coming through hub, and it looks like they're going to be just as aggressive as BAGUETTE was on them. I'm not going to say for sure, but it just seems that this is going to go 1-1.
You know, if the first couple seconds of the match, if the first minute is any indicator, you may very well be right.
Yeah, you know, I'd love to see Damage Networks, you know, win this match. They have a very good Marine game, but I have seen BAGUETTE play, and they are just as aggressive with Aliens, and in terms of map control with units, with the Aliens as they are with Marines.
And you know, the question will be, obviously, you know, hindsight being 20/20, certainly BAGUETTE has the advantage, you know, over DN on them when they're playing Marines. You know, the question is, how much of an advantage does DN have on their Marine game over BAGUETTE, and can BAGUETTE eke out a win here? What are the odds?
Yeah, exactly. Seeing a push in observation, those 3 Marines got whittled down to 2. They are going to try to take out that RT there, but those Hydras, good Hydra placement, good clog placement on the wall. Boom, just trying to take out those Hydras before he takes out those RTs, but he wasted too much time there. That BAGUETTE comes in and just eats his reinforcements alive. Wow! Those are the shots that I love DN about. And I'm seeing Babblers on the screen in observation.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Wow, that's the first time in a competitive match I have seen Babblers skedaddling all over the screen. Those cute little guys.
They're so adorable.
All right, and we're seeing kind of cat and mouse happening in Elevator versus Connie and Track. He knows they're in there. We see those Babblers behind Track just hanging around.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked that we haven't seen more Babblers. They're so cheap. They're so inexpensive.
They are cheap, inexpensive, and you know what? The armor that they add, a Skulk, a 0 Skulk without carapace. He's got Babblers on there, can survive weapons 1, 4 more bullets. 4 more bullet hits, so that's big in a fight.
Yeah, especially early game. That can be huge.
We're seeing a concentrated push by Damage Networks into observation. Yo is in there with his troop of Babblers, and he gets killed. And the Aliens converge on observation. What a great fight here that we're having between BAGUETTE and Damage Networks, and they do succeed in stopping that defense push.
You know, that's a really interesting thing about those Babblers as well, is you notice that they just had to spend, you know, a solid 3 to 5 seconds cleaning up the Babblers after the main fight, which gave time for a respawn wave. Here comes Lednar and Heracles with Yo right behind, and they're going to be able to clean up in observation.
That's true, and you know what? One of the strategic things of Babblers that I went over in my video last night was, you know, if you got, you know, your forces behind you as a gorge, and you have Babblers, you can send the Babblers in first. Listen for the Marines to start firing, and then the Skulks fade or whatever start running in, because now the Marines have wasted ammo, and they're going to be on a reload soon. So.
Oh, look at that! BAGUETTE Yo getting out of that confrontation with so little health. Yeah, he was down to 1%. And, you know, this is where the big difference is going to come in between last round and this round is, you know, we saw that pretty much the entire game last round, BAGUETTE had kept DN down to 2 res nodes. There was, virtually, only a couple minutes where DN was up above 2 res nodes, and DN has not been able to get that same kind of advantage on Baguette. They are sitting on 6 res nodes themselves, so they are definitely playing very aggressive. They're definitely going to get great economy on their end, but they won't be able to prevent those higher life forms from coming out quite as well as Baguette was last round.
Yeah, and what you guys are seeing right now is a first person spectating from Blue in logistics at this point.
I find it interesting that DN has a different comm for Marines than they do for aliens.
Oh, and Blue just gets taken out in logistics. And you know what? I'm seeing the drifters around the map. Baguette has a very, very good strategy with drifters. They really put them in great places, especially on tram. And we are seeing just a regular skulk. Sheems in ore processing, harassing that RT.
And look at this, 6-minute lurks.
We're seeing a massive, massive, massive resource haul from Damaged Networks. They're sitting on 6 RTs at this point.
And we think Baguette has to know it because they are doing a little bit of res harass here in repair room, but Meb is able to interdict and Track's going to get taken down.
They are, obviously all of Baguette's forces are committed, including the commander. I mean, you can just see there's no commander right now for Baguette. They are floating 109 res, just because they know that they need to hold map control in order to even spend that.
Yeah, and right now, they're probably going to want to push on elevator transfer. They seem to have a little bit of better positioning over there. They have it a little bit locked down. Connie pushing into elevator transfer, though, trying to get Tannis before he takes out that res node, which he does. Tannis falls back into observation, where there's a nice little fight going on. Blue gets taken out. Boom is here. He's going to get a nice couple shots on Track, and Track gets taken out by the axe.
Wow, axe kill. That is really humiliating. What did they used to say in like Quake 3, right? That sound?
Yep. Humiliation.
Yeah, that sound should play. I should have a sound bite of that.
Yeah, I have that and the fail noise from The Price is Right are somewhere on the soundboard.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wow.
All right, we're seeing a 3 Marine push and elevator transfer being harassed by a lurk right now. DN doing a great job staying together. We see a repair room hive has been dropped, 16% grown, almost at full health. If Baguette gets this hive, it could turn the tables, though their resource flow isn't looking good right now. We're only working on 2 resource towers right now.
Look at that, a beautifully timed scan, a beautifully timed ping. The DN now knows that hive is down, and immediately they bring 4 in.
Yeah, fantastic. But we got 3 crags around that hive that's going to take down, reduce the DPS on that hive. But right now, DN has to pay attention to the aliens that are coming in, and they are being pushed out.
And this is where you see that 3 res node hold for aliens is really paying off, because they have 2 lurks. They have plenty of gorge, resources for gorges, and they're able to defend against that kind of push. We saw last round when that hive was dropped by DN, they weren't in a position to hold it very well because they were so res starved, but Baguette is not having that problem.
Yeah, and we're seeing a kind of turn the tables here. They had a phase gate going up in ore processing, but that was taken out by Sheems. Blue was building that, but he just couldn't hold him off. And we're seeing more Marines heading to warehouse. We might see them link up warehouse with a phase gate, or at least ore processing, to lock off that side of the map.
Yeah, that failed push on the hive and repair room really, really hurt DN on that. They wound up in a position where they had 3 or 4 guys all down, and it gave an opportunity for Baguette to push out and take down some of those res nodes that was giving the Marines such a good economy.
And we see a phase gate does get dropped in warehouse. They're going to try to push through ore processing. Right now there's a push in observation. They're really trying to get that down. It's at 7%. Meb just needs to run in there and spit on it, and it would go down, but he gets taken down. 7%. Good save by Baguette.
And so we do see them massing up a little bit here in repair room, maybe making a push on ore. Tanis is going to go scout out an ore, but boom, golden and blue are all there. Oh, look at this, a robo in ore processing.
That is a great placement for Robo. They're going to be able to arc repair room from there. The aliens, however, do know Tanis just gave that battlefield information. We see an armory being dropped in there. And right now, we are going to see a push by the Marines.
And you know what's really interesting is, again, we talked about phase gate placement. Because they lost that initial engagement in repair room, because DN lost that 4-man push into repair room to try and get that hive, they were forced back out of ore processing, and it forced them to drop that phase gate in warehouse. So not quite the placement they want. They won't be able to get reinforcements into repair room as quickly should the fight wind up in that location.
Yep. And apologies for that reply on that Steam message, guys. That was Babel from Team Cocorico. If you saw that match last night, you wanted to join the Twitch stream and see a little bit of Baguette action. Seeing a lot of babblers there in repair room. We have a fade on the field at this point, which is definitely going to help out. The aliens do know ore processing is coming. We got 2 arcs moving in. This is something that I have seen DN do in the past. They move in with 1 or 2 arcs, and I just somehow that astonishes me. I would always move in with at least 3 because it gets the base down faster and reduces the time that you have to protect those arcs.
Yeah, especially with a fade on the field. I know they have shotguns and level 2 weapons, but those arcs are going to go down a lot farther back than Baguette placed them. I didn't actually realize that arc could hit all the way from that little teeny corner up there in ore processing, but those shots are coming in. That hive is down to now 82%, 73%. All 3 crags are taken out, so no more healing.
And Blue is doing DN is doing a really great job just hanging around those arcs, and they are getting bile bombed right now, so they have to make sure that those arcs survive in order to keep this push alive. 27% on the hive. The aliens are in trouble. Oh, wow, and they took out all the defense. Can those arcs do it before they get taken down?
They're going to get it.
Oh,
there it
goes. The hive! Fantastic!
And that was so close.
Wow, DN gets the hive at the last second, and we see those arcs just get thrown around by the aliens oh man, I lost my word.
Frustration.
Frustration, thank you.
God,
stupid arcs. Oh wow, what a great play by Damage.
Yeah, that was a very, very smart play. You know, we saw them start with 2, bring in a 3rd arc, and the timing was just perfect. And, you know, that's what you want in this kind of high-level competitive play, is to get that kind of, you know, ride that line between how long do you wait, how long do you let them build up res and defenses, and you know, just barely, you know, you really do want to do exactly what DN did, which is just kind of barely get the job done.
Exactly, and that means the cost for those arcs really were worth it. A fade goes down, Sheems goes down, that's a Prez loss. On the alien side, we see Heracles coming in, attacking those Marines. They're trying to get that phase gate back up. It's just not going to work. And that phase might be going down soon.
They actually sold the phase in warehouse before they had secured ore.
Oh, wow. That might have cost them, it definitely cost them ore processing. We're going to have to see at this point how DN is going to recover. It was a great push, but we'll see how well that push was of taking down repair room.
Yeah, and you can see the repair room hive has already been redropped. And it's already at 44% grown.
At this point, Baguette has lost Leap, Bile Bomb. Another phase gate is being put up in warehouse at this point from Damage Networks in order to begin hammering or processing and take control of that area of the map again.
Yeah, but between recycling the phase gate in warehouse and losing the one that they started building in ore processing, I mean that's almost a 20 res loss, and they're not sitting on the kind of res that they were earlier in the game. They were at 6 or 7 res nodes for a good portion of the game earlier, from about 4 minutes all the way up to 8 minutes, but now they're down to 4, and they were down to 2 earlier.
We see that they recycled that phase gate above ore processing, placed it in warehouse, and now they're claiming warehouse at this point. And we're seeing a push from the aliens from ore processing into newly created warehouse. 4 aliens, Fade, Skulk, and 2 Gorges.
And we see no reinforcements. There is no observatory in warehouse, so there's no beacon coming. That phase gate is up though, but nobody's back at base to reinforce. If they can't hold warehouse with just Boom and Meb, they could be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and we see an armory coming down in warehouse. At this point, this is going to be really good just to help with the health. But that power, and we can see that's part of the patch notes. Did you see how Tanis couldn't hit that power from where he was, where in the patch he could have been that far to
yeah,
bile bomb?
The spread on that bile bomb is just not as big.
And they shortened the range of bile bomb from 13 to 11, and that power node 18%, and it gets saved by damage networks. Good play.
Yeah, reinforcements coming in just in time. 4 people piling through that phase gate. And down on the other side of the map, though, you do see elevator transfer getting a small push, but Sheems is able to clean that up as he's going to go in and take down the res node, bringing the Marines down to 4 res nodes, which is still okay. 4 is enough to survive and get things done and get the upgrades they need. But meanwhile, in mezzanine, there's Heracles putting a hit on another res node. Connie comes in with a shotgun, gets 1 mediocre shot on Heracles. Heracles is going to go ahead and get out of there as Golden is in mezzanine as well.
Yeah, at this point, I honestly think this is anyone's game. We're seeing some really good play, strong play from Damage Networks. This is where they shine as the Marines. They just lost another RT up in platform, so it's down to 3-3 on the RTs. If we look at the resource meter, how many RTs have been destroyed? 15 for the aliens and 3 for the Marines.
We do see a Fade pushing into server room, and the Fade gets taken down. Oh, wow.
Taken down. Wow, what a resource loss that the aliens are just going to have to absorb with that Fade.
And that was actually really, really brilliant play by DN. Blue was coming in with a shotgun, and right before, I can't remember who was actually in there, but right before, I believe Connie died, he dropped a mine, which put enough damage on Heracles that Blue was able to come in and clean up that Fade with a single shot.
Yeah, well, it amazes me some of the things that they think of. DN definitely uses mines as an offensive weapon. I've seen him do it many times, and you see that in competitive play a lot, mines as an offensive weapon. It's a great tool.
Yeah, it lets you kind of retreat and do damage at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Big push in ore processing right now. Aliens coming in to push DN out of there. Nano shields being dropped down. Health packs being dropped down. Great job for the alien command, or for the Marine commander. Annihilator, which I said in the last game, is their Marine commander. He is really good. Blink has just started being researched for the aliens, and Weapons 3 is just about to be done for the Marines.
And you can see on the other side of the map, Golden is down in observation. He was able to take out Tanis as he came in to attack. Golden takes out a little bit of a Crag nest, but here come Heracles and Track to clean that up. Golden trying to hang out in that doorway, get a couple shots in on Track and Heracles before he gets taken out. He is going to get a lot of damage in there. He's going to have to switch to his pistol, but he gets taken out before he can kill either Heracles or Track. And again, we've talked about this in the last round. That is one of the things that we saw with Baguette, is they were always taking out at least one person, at least one Skulk in those 1v2 engagements, and we haven't seen that from DN in this round.
Yeah. Definitely, and this push, aliens tried to push into ore processing just a little bit ago. It failed because at the same time they pushed, 3 Marines came around the corner from warehouse. We see jetpacks just starting. That's going to be a game changer for the Marines. Both are just sitting on 2-2 right now. This is a pretty close game. 5 resource towers versus 4 on the Marines, or I'm sorry, on the aliens. Very, very close game at this point. It can go either way.
Yeah, we've definitely reached a standoff point in this round. You know, at the beginning of the match, it seemed like DN had the upper hand. In the last couple, you know, maybe 5 minutes, it seemed like Baguette had the upper hand. But now, I mean, it's really we really either team's game. We again 5 and 4 resource nodes respectively. Both teams have 2 tech points. Aliens do have reasonable control over elevators should they decide to drop a third hive. It's very balanced as we expected.
Yeah, and we saw Blue just eat it just a little bit ago in platform, trying to defend that RT. Meb coming in to save him, and we're seeing a fade in ore processing. Track, it's going to come into warehouse and try to cause some havoc there.
It does look like they are prepping to drop a third hive in elevator transfer as we see a shade go down next to 2 crags behind that wall, and there it is. There's the third hive drop. And again, I find that placement really interesting, that they can use that wall in observation to drop crags and shades that will impact and affect that tech point.
Yeah, that is very odd. I just circled it on the screen for you guys of what Neat is talking about. That it could do that is just puzzling.
Yeah, and you know, we just saw some changes on docking that addressed a couple of issues that were similar. You know, they reduced some of the positions that you could arc from on docking, and so I wouldn't be shocked if, you know, a month or 2 from now you see a patch that addresses exactly this.
We're seeing the Marines push in mezzanine at this point, trying to get some foothold there and be able to go into elevator transfer. A big fight in ore processing, trying to get that phase gate down so they can push again into repair room. And we do see Marines popping around there with jetpacks at this point, and Armor 3 is almost done researching. And we see another robo being dropped in ore. Track sees it. Oh man, the entire alien team's coming in there. I don't know if this is going to get up.
Boom, looks like he's just going to be able to barely finish it. And Baguette, Lednar gets taken down. Track is still in there, but there's 2 Marines, Meb and Connie, both with shotguns and jetpacks. Heracles is going to come in and get a couple bites on Connie. Is Connie going to go down? He does! What a great play by Heracles to keep the pressure on in ore processing.
What great defense is happening right now in damage networks in ore processing. They completely push that. Oh, and we see gorge tunnels being researched by the aliens. Wow, that's the first time in a competitive match I have seen gorge tunnels being researched, so I am curious as to see how they're going to use those.
Yeah, you have to imagine that they have something specific in mind if they're researching gorge tunnels.
Oh, I'm sure it's something that they've already practiced. And it's probably a tried and true strategy in the little time that they've had to practice with gorge tunnels.
Yeah, we do need to keep in mind, of course, and remind our viewers that element has been in the game for literally 2 days. You know, other than the alpha testers, nobody's been able to play with gorge tunnels for more than 48 hours.
Yeah, and I have to just think that once the patch came out, a bunch of scrims and practices for all these clans.
Oh yeah. I was casting scrims last night.
And we see the phase gates have been linked in ore processing warehouse and server room. Platform RT is going to go down by Heracles.
And I'm a little surprised that they haven't recycled that phase gate in the warehouse yet.
Yep, and gorge tunnels has been finished. I'm following Yo right now coming in through hub. Oh, and a fade has died. Leidnar, they have lost another fade. And I think they are going to get up a gorge tunnel in elevator transfer, though we see arcs coming in from ore processing down to repair room again.
Oh, but look at this, all the way on the other side of the map. Sheens is in server room, and he was trying to put a couple of hits on that arms lab, which he does. Gets it down to about 82% before Golden shows up. There's the phase back. Blue, Meb, and Golden there. Let's see if that gives an opportunity to push from repair. Now, that would have been the time to capitalize, but that push, you can see, is now coming, but it's a little bit late. Oh, boy, Track just gets absolutely destroyed. Oh, the mines.
And we see a arc push in ore processing to repair. Gorge tunnels are up between repair and elevator transfer right now, but I don't think that's going to really help too much. That though that hive is getting healed very well, it's still at 90, 100%.
You know, I think they dropped that gorge tunnel from elevator transfer just to make sure that anybody who did happen to spawn over an elevator transfer could reinforce repair room immediately.
We might not see gorge tunnels so much as an offensive tool as phase gates are for Marines. But we definitely will probably see them more used, and I'm just guessing, as a defense tool.
And, you know, I was discussing with one of the guys from Breakfast Club the other day, you know, we haven't seen it yet, but there is the possibility that they're going to be used as a defensive tool in a way that we haven't thought, which is you can build a single gorge tunnel entrance, not build the exit, and use it as a safe haven.
Yeah, that's true. That would be a great strategy, I mean, especially for saving things like onuses or anything last minute, just to give some breather.
Yeah, and you know, we see people do that where they'll ask their commander to get out of the hive or the chair to give, you know, to give a safe place to go in, but the arcs are still hitting. They have not been able to make a push. We do see the Onos come in, and Lednar's a little late, and the Shade Hive goes down. That's the second hive loss.
Hive is down. Very good for Damage Networks. This is their game. They're moving in there. We have an Onos on the field, 2 Fades as well, and 2 Skulks.
And that Fade is going to try and give some support, let that Onos get out, which he does. That gorge tunnel is still there. Are we going to see? Oh boy. Are we going to see? Nope, they're going to go ahead and just take out that gorge tunnel. Or they're going to leave it up at about half health. Nope, they're going to take it down. You know, we have yet to see, again, you know, we haven't seen gorge tunnels used very much, but
I know.
For those who don't know about...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, for those who don't know, Marines can go into the gorge tunnels as well. Unlike phase gates, Marines can go into gorge tunnels. They do take armor damage while they're in there. So I will be interested to see the first time a gorge tunnel is used against the aliens by the Marines to go attack a hive. That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, and we're seeing that they just, the Marines just took out repair room. They are moving those arcs over to elevator transfer. A lot of resistance here from the aliens, and the Marines are coming in with jetpacks to try to save those arcs.
You know, they had a 4-arc push, so they do still have 3 arcs, and at nearly full health, the aliens did have to retreat as that Onos went into the hive. He's so low, Lednar. Oh no!
And he doesn't make it. He tried to jump back in. Lednar is down. That's a huge loss for the aliens. 75 resources on that Onos, and now 4 arcs are killing the elevator transfer hive, and a Fade goes down as well. What great play by Damage Networks. This is their game. This is the Damage Networks that I remember. Wow, that hive goes down. Leap loss, Bile Bomb, Blink. Oh, it's all gone, and now they are down in just, what, 2 minutes, down to 1 hive.
That is such a huge push from DN, and so intelligently played, so well reinforced, and the shooting from Meb in particular and Connie to keep that Onos off of those arcs and get that hive down so quickly. I mean, those arcs, other than the push through hub where they took some damage on their way heading to elevator transfer, those arcs were completely undamaged otherwise.
And we see the repair room hive was dropped and then quickly taken out. They are on top of it.
You know, the aliens do have plenty of res, so they are sitting on 94 T-res. So it's not a huge loss in the form of that in the form of that lost hive. They do have most of their research done.
Look at what the what Damage Networks is doing. They are non-stopping. This is a fist that is just continuing to pummel them. They went from repair room, then straight to elevator, and now they are going to south tunnels. They are not giving the aliens a time to breathe.
But Tanis is up on Onos, as is Sheems, and those 4 arcs now in there all alone. Connie was not able to stay in there because the entire alien team, there was no reinforcements. Here comes Blue, but it's going to be a little too late. The arcs start to retreat. They're going to lose at least 1 arc. 2 arcs. 2 arcs left. Wow.
Wow. That was a great defense by Baguette at this point. All those arcs are gone. And just the last 2 are being bitten right now in south tunnels.
Yep, there go the arcs. There's the end of that aggression. But, you know, they are sitting now, DN is now sitting on 5 res nodes, and they can just keep pumping those arcs out all day.
Oh yeah, and we are probably going to see more of those arcs coming through, though that defense right there by Baguette bought them the time that they needed to kind of get their head around what the hell just happened.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, and I wonder if they dropped that that other hive in repair room in the hopes of dropping a couple Onos eggs with this massive stockpile of T-Reds that they have. But you know, we did see those two Onos coming out, which are both still on the map, pushing into mezzanine right now, and this is where Baguette is going to try and turn the tide. Tan is taking so much damage.
He is at 500 health, 300 health, 200. He's down!
Oh, you can see Sheems was trying to body block, trying to get himself in the way, and he gets taken out as he gets pinched from Hub by Connie and Blue. Oh!
Both Onuses are down. What a loss for Baguette. That was huge. They dropped elevator transfer. It's only 18% grown. You got 3 Marines now coming in there, and there's the good game from Baguette. Wow. What a match. Damage Networks versus Baguette. I knew it. I called it in the beginning. That was going to go 1-1. They have such a strong Marine game.
That was DN really does have a strong Marine game, but that round was so close. It seesawed back and forth at least 3 or 4 times. Man, that was just fun to watch.
That arc push that they did and just kept it trucking along like a damage train around the map. I mean, just really did it for Damage Networks during this.
And, you know, Baguette had the opportunity to turn it around after that. They did kill all those arcs. They had the 2 Onos. And you see those 2 Onos running into mezzanine. I honestly have to question the strategy there of pushing in those Onos. I understand the desire to capitalize on, you know, a counterattack opportunity, but no reinforcements anywhere nearby, no other higher life, no lurks, no fates, no gorges backing those Onos up, and they just got pinched and absolutely got the floor wiped with them.
Yeah, amazing match that we just saw here. Folks, if you're just joining us, you guys just missed a very exciting match.
Watch the replay.
Watch the replay. The replay will be up on my Twitch channel, or the edited replay will be up on YouTube.com.